Virgo, I'm Anisha. To know more about my work, you may visit my website www.tarotbyanisha.com. For those of you who are seeking deeper clarity, be it in your love lives or your career, for a personal consultation, you may write to me at tarotbyanisha@gmail.com. Virgos, there are three things that can't be hidden in this world: the sun, the moon, and the truth. And that is one of my favorite quotes from the Enlightened Buddha. And we have a full moon on that note, which is bringing about clarity on the things that we were not aware about earlier. And this is in a part of your day-to-day chores, and it also has to do with your health. Now, the full moon is going to be bringing to surface anything that you might not have been aware about. It could be an impending health issue. So it's a great time to be seeking a second opinion from a doctor, something that may have been of concern to you, and you are still trying to find answers. It's also a good time to be taking your diet and your day-to-day routine into control, Virgos. Now, full moons tend to be full moons are very emotional because it's a closure of something. Something is coming to an end, something is coming to a fruition, and also it's closing of one specific chapter. So for you, I think it's a time where work is concerned. There could be a newer way of working, and in the current pandemic situation, all of us are learning to work virtually more and have lesser of interactions. And this could require some amount of adjustment from you. It's also that during this time you could be discovering newer ways to connect with people at work, and you may have earlier thought that no, I need to be having a face-to-face with this specific person, or my work requires it, but you'll realize that there are ways in which you can still connect. The perfect time for you to be breaking a habit is also a full moon. So if you have been trying to kick off a habit of smoking, or you've been trying to just lace up every morning and go for a run, it's a great time that the full moon is going to be allowing you to put an end to things that weren't working for you earlier. If you have been applying for a job somewhere, this is a time that you could get an offer. Also, for some of you, I think it could also be finishing off a project and moving on to another project. And a lot of focus on your working environment. They can be, if you have been unhappy with your work environment, you could be, I think for very few of us who could be going to work right now, it's mostly working from home. But even at home, I think if there is some amount of chaos that is there, you need to be setting a separate space for yourself, Virgos, where you can just focus on work alone. I think a lot of time what happens is that, and especially now, working from home has its own pros and cons, and you may not, whether there's a chaos or there's a lack of space, or there's just a lack of too much that could be happening around you, and you could just be wanting that quiet space. So try and, even if the space is less at home, try and just mark a small space where you can sit and you can just do your work. On the 5th, we have Mercury that is coming to join Sun, and this is there in your house of behind the scenes, and this is the house of it's a house of service, it's a house of compassion, and we also have a new moon in this house on the 18th. Now, with Sun coming into your house of service, you're going to be focusing a lot on your subconscious. What is it that you not just, I think, want out of life, but spiritually, where is it that you see yourself, or what is it that you really desire spiritually? It's a good time to be getting rid of a lot of psychological baggage as well, Virgos. It's a great time to be in therapy. I think it's a time where you need to be not just speaking your truth, but also healing. The Sun and the Mercury are going to be giving you courage to have these brave conversations over here. And the new moon on the 18th simply speaks about a time where you'll have a lot of compassion in your heart. A lot of times when we speak our truth, it is not said in the best way possible. We just feel we need to get it off our chest and we say it without worrying about the person to whom we are speaking our truth, or uh, you know uh, their sensitivities. So while the sun is going to be giving you the courage and the clarity, and Mercury will give you all the words to articulate yourself, because this is a house where we can literally become undone. This is also where the family skeletons lie. You have to be, you have to deal with people or with conversations with kid gloves. This is also a time where you can come out with your best ideas. With the new moon, something new getting started. Maybe it could be a project which is very close to your heart, close to your soul, something that really moves you. And you could just be thinking and implementing something which is, may have been there in your sort of mind and in your heart for the longest of time. The new moon or the solar eclipse over here, it is because it speaks about secrets and it speaks about hidden things. It can be that, accidentally you may come across a secret. You may come to know of something which is really, really private. And I think it's a time where you would want to sort of take a back seat, work behind the scenes, introspect, be in the quiet. Just make sure that you're being open and honest with, or whether you're dealing with someone or it's a specific issue. Ensure that you're being as transparent as possible. Virgos, often seclusion is the only way that we can prepare ourselves. So I think in any case, with the social distancing and the pandemic challenging situation that all of us are living in, we are pretty much in isolation. But I'm speaking really about doing some internal introspection, thinking about maybe things have to do with your childhood, maybe they have to do with your siblings, maybe they have to do with certain psychological patterns which haven't got resolved as of now. So explore your subconscious during this time. And I think with the new moon, especially with your birthday around the corner, September is where you're going to be starting your astrological new year, literally. And that's a time where you will sort of be prepared for what it is that your soul and your mind and your heart want you to do. On the 8th, we have Venus that is moving into your house of friendships. This is a house of networks. So you have a wonderful chance of meeting someone new. And Venus, in any case, she's the goddess of love, beauty, romance, and she also rules money. So you could be feeling very passionate during this time, and it necessarily does not mean sexually. It can also mean that you could be feeling very passionate about something that is a common cause with your friends. Maybe it's a group of you have gotten together, and you've brought the group together and you feel very strongly about it. And you could also, some of you may also start dating someone who's been a friend for the longest of time. And there's a general sense of positivity towards future, and a sense of community, a sense of camaraderie amongst your friends. On the 20th, we have Mercury, and Mercury moves into your own sign. And then on the 23rd, we have Sun, and it's a happy birthday time for you, Virgos. So your focus is going to be entirely you. What is it that I want out of life? What is it that I like? How it is that I want the world to see me? What is it that I want for myself? And you could be making changes in the way that you behave, and some of you could be making physical changes as well. The way that you dress, the way that you maybe wear your hair, and you're going to be, though independent, but there's going to be a lot of focus on the self. And it's not a bad thing. It doesn't make you selfish, but and I think it's important that you need to be focusing on yourself once in a while. But you're going to be very confident with Sun being over there, and very courageous and very bold, and You'll be sort of, you're not going to be waiting for anybody's permission, to be doing something. So with Mercury quickening your mind, with a lot of ideas, plans being there, Sun is going to be giving you that courage as well. So there's going to be a lot of sense of self-worth, a lot of self-belief that is going to be there, and you're going to be feeling that this is something that whether it's a project or whether it's um, a pet project that you're working on, you'll be very certain that this is something that not only that you are able to convince other people about it, that you're able to sort of take them along with you, but you're also very sure that you will be able to deliver it as well. Now Mars is going to be there in your house of joint finances, resources, and Mars, interestingly, it does, however, go retrograde in September, but normally the Mars transit doesn't last for a very long time, but this time it's there for about 6 months. And Mars, of course, being the planet of enthusiasm and action. Coming into the house of joint finances, it's going to be talking about who brings what on the table. It's going to be speaking about intimacy, especially with your partner. It speaks about your partner's income. Maybe you could be feeling the burden of, carrying on financially for your partner, or they could also be in certain cases that there is an inheritance that comes to your partner. And you can, I think this is a time that you will be able to sift the wheat from the chaff, and you'll be able to see, as to what really the issue lies between both of you. And it's important to try and I mean, you are the ever diplomat, Virgos, but I think keep yourself, your own interests in mind when you're dealing with a financial issue as far as your partner is concerned. You can expect some disagreements, some arguments to be there, but I think it's important that you sort of stay in control over the finances or the results of it. That said, try not to get into a power struggle. Try not to sort of, put your partner down and say, oh, I bring this on the table, you bring that on the table. At the same time, don't get exploited as well financially. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Virgos. I know I've not been as regular as I should be. Hopefully, I will try and stay regular from next month. Your subscriptions, your followership means a lot to me. It helps me create more content. Please do go ahead and share the channel, share my work with others. It will help me create more lovely content for all of you. Stay safe. I'll see you again next month, and thank you so much for